Brilliant. So make your way to your mat. Actually, just before you go to your mats, make sure you've got water handy. Drink little and often, stay hydrated. You may also want to have a cushion to sit on for comfort, and for your knees, if you've got any issues with your knees, just rest your knees on the cushions. I'll kind of prompt you to do that as and when. And if you would like to use blocks or props, just grab something, a book or a block, and have it handy. And then when you're ready, we'll come to seated. So sitting cross-legged, if it's comfortable, if not, just find a position that does work for you. You can have your legs outstretched, or you can even sit in hero. And then if it gets too much at any point, you can just come out of it if it's too much on your knees. I would recommend, if it's comfortable, to be cross-legged. Nice and tall in the spine, open across the chest. And actually, just before we start our breath work, let's interlace our fingers, take our palms up to the ceiling, and just stretch up nice and tall. Just improve that posture. And gently release. Bring your hands to your knees. Take a nice deep breath in. Just release with your exhale. And close your eyes. Bring your awareness to your breath. We're going to consciously lengthen and deepen each inhale and each exhale. Our breath work, pranayama in Sanskrit, is a combination of the words prana, meaning energy, and yama, which is control. So we're taking over that natural, spontaneous breath. We're taking control of our breath, making it conscious. And then introducing the golden thread breath. Continue to inhale deeply through your nose. As you exhale, press your lips as if you're blowing out candles on a birthday cake. And exhale slowly. Out through your mouth. In through your nose. Out through your mouth. Continuing the cycle of breath. Ensuring that when you exhale fully. And notice that exhaling fully out your mouth, like you're blowing out candles or a dandelion, will draw out that exhale. Will force the body to lengthen and control the breath out the body. This extended exhale naturally calms your nervous system. You may be feeling more settled and more relaxed already. And this breath is a brilliant way to maintain calm during labor. In through the mouth, beg your pardon, in through the nose, and out through the mouth. Continue your golden thread breath. And whilst focusing on your breath, we're just going to take our awareness also to our sit bones. Just mentally draw a line between your sit bones. Right in the center of that line is your pelvic floor. The muscle is so important in carrying your baby, supporting your pregnant belly through childbirth and beyond. They cradle your womb, and we need to support and strengthen these muscles. So knowing where they are on your out breath, just see if you can lift the muscles of the pelvic floor. Just pull them gently upwards. As you breathe in, soften your belly and relax. So as we exhale, we lift the pelvic floor. As we inhale, we soften and relax. If you're having any issues finding your pelvic floor, or perhaps engaging it, perhaps you know where it is, but that the muscles are just not quite responding. Imagine you're holding in a weed and just hold it in as you exhale and let it out. Not physically let it out, but just gently release as you inhale. Let's take a couple more breaths here. And then relax around your center. Allow your breath to return to its natural rhythm. And gently open your eyes. Let's interlace our fingers again. Take another one of these lovely big stretches. As you exhale, side stretch over to the right. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale to the left. Inhale, lengthen. And release your arms, interlace your fingers behind you and draw your knuckles back to open up your chest. This is a great way just to correct the posture that we adopt during pregnancy. We adopt this rounding, this protective posture for our bumps, for our babies. So we want to open the shoulders, open the chest, and stretch out these muscles. And then gently release, bringing hands to your knees. Just imagine that your spine is a rod, a strong, straight rod from the tailbone all the way up to the crown of your head. It's sitting lovely and tall. Just gently pull in your belly to keep this corset secure, keep your spine straight. And then bring your hands to the Mascot heart center. We're going to inhale, fingertips up to the sky. And using our spine as an axis, twist to the right, lower fingertips to the floor, look over the right shoulder. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, twist to the left, fingertips to the floor, look over the left shoulder. Inhale, arms overhead. Bring your right hand down to the ground. We're going to take a side stretch and hold here. This is a lovely opener for the chest. Stretching up through the side body. If you have any breathing restrictions as baby gets big, starts to take up all that room, this is a lovely way just to give yourself a bit more space. And then swap those arms over, left hand to ground, right arm up and overhead. Nice deep breaths here. And then reaching your fingertips up to the sky. We're going to bring our hands down to the floor in front of us and come to a forward fold. So never squashing bump, just walking your hands forward until you're just maintaining a lovely comfort for baby in your belly and getting a little stretch through the back of your body at the same time. If you bring your chin in towards your chest, you can add a neck stretch. Top of the spine, lengthening out, broadening of the shoulders. And then walk your hands back in towards your body, bringing the hands back to the knees. We're going to take a seated cat-cow. So as we inhale, opening the chest, eye gaze to the sky. As you exhale, round the spine, hug baby in with your abdominals. As we inhale to cow pose, you can lift your chin, stretch the front of your throat. As you exhale, again, bring your chin to your chest, lengthening the back of your body. Let's take one more inhale and one more exhale in our seated cat-cow. And then lengthen the spine back up to that strong, straight rod, tailbone to the crown of the head. Making sure your shoulders are nice and relaxed. We're going to drop our right shoulder, our right ear down to our right shoulder. Lengthening the left side of your neck. And then slowly taking your head over the other way. Left ear to shoulder. Straightening up. Coming over your knees, make your way to a tabletop position. Wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. We're going to inhale here with a neutral spine. As you exhale, tuck your tailbone, bring your chin to chest and take an angry cat pose. And then inhale the spine back to neutral, lengthening from tailbone to the crown of the head. Exhale, curl up to cat pose. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, curl. And then reset your spine. Checking you're nice and sturdy. If you need a bit of room, you can step your knees just a little wider. We're going to take a thread needle. So inhaling, right arm reaches up to the sky. As we exhale, we're going to thread this arm under the left side of the body, planting the right shoulder down on the ground. And then just gently pressing into your left hand to create a lovely twist. Ever mindful of bump. If anything is at any point uncomfortable, don't do it. Just ease off. Every body is different. Every pregnancy is different. And we've got to respect our bodies accordingly. Your options are to stay here, or if you'd like a little bit more, you can inhale this right arm back up to the sky. And exhale, thread. This time, keeping your shoulder off the ground. Inhale, reach. Exhale, thread. Inhale, reach. Exhale, thread. And then everybody reset to your tabletop position. Just taking those knees back under the hips. If you're taking your knees wide, we're going to take a look over at our right hip and then over at our left hip. Sideways cat-cow. Continuing here, just creating some lateral movement in the spine. This is a lovely way to get baby into a good position. If you think of your belly like a hammock, baby's spine will naturally want to roll and lie in that hammock comfortably. And then reset for your thread needle. So option to stay here or take the knees just a little wider, maybe bring your toes together. Inhale, left arm up to the sky. And exhale, thread that hand under the right side of the body, lowering the shoulder, lowering the ear to ground. And then gently pressing into your right hand. Option to stay here, or inhale with me, left arm reaches the sky, and exhale, thread. Inhale, reach. Exhale, thread. Inhale, reach. Exhale, thread. And then everybody make your way back to your tabletop position. We're going to tuck our toes under and just walk our hands back into a yogi squat. So you can start here on your toes. This might be enough. Just test the water, see how your hips feel. If you've practiced before, or if you do want to give it a go, take it slowly. We're going to take our feet a little bit wider and just see if we can drop our heels down to the mat without toppling over. Bringing hands to Namaskar, just opening up the hips. It's a lovely pose to get baby engaged. A few nice deep breaths. And again, you've got some options depending on how you feel this evening. Option 1 is to bring your hands to the ground and then roll yourself up to standing. Option 2 is to keep your spine straight and slowly lift yourself up to a standing position. Now this is great to work on the leg strength, which will be needed during labour. But at the same time, you don't want to wear yourself out if you are tired, because you are growing a baby. Takes a lot of effort. So here we can have hands in the Namaskar or holding onto bum. We're just going to start rocking side to side, releasing the hips. You'll be doing this a lot. Lovely. Let's come to stillness. Get our feet under our hips. Just pick your toes up and just hold them up in the air for a minute. Feel that connection between the rest of your feet and the ground. Maybe wiggle your toes and then spread them out, plump them back down. And as we work up through the legs, we're going to create a softness in our knees and a strength in our thighs. So engaging the quads to lift up the knees, lifting up the pelvic floor, gently embracing baby with your core, engage those muscles, and roll your shoulders to open your chest, turning your palms to face the front. We're going to inhale, arms overhead, and then interlace your fingers, keeping only your pointer fingers pointing to the sky in Kali Mudra. As you exhale, take a nice deep side stretch over to the right-hand side. Inhale, straightening back up. Exhale, over to the left. Inhale, straighten. And then bring hands back through heart center, back to Namaskar. At any point, if you'd like to just take them to bump, you're more than welcome. We're going to take our feet mat width apart and come to a forward fold. So any way that works for you, but take it slowly. So you can soften your knees and make your way down to a fold. Releasing your hands to the floor and softening your head and neck. So making any allowances you need for bump. If you're still in second trimester and you'd like to bring your feet a little close together, that's absolutely fine. Just be mindful of this little person and how they're feeling in your belly. We want to keep them as our priority. And we work our yoga not only around them, but for them. And then take a softness in your knees, walking your hands forward. We're going to make our way to a downward facing dog. Tailbone lifts up to the sky. If this is too much at any point, feel free to drop to your knees. And then slowly pedal out your legs, waking up the muscles in the back of the body. And then bring your heels to stillness. We're going to take our knees mat width apart, big toes together, and sit back into child's pose. Again, mindful of bump. Come as low as is comfortable, reaching your fingertips forward and lengthening out the back of your body. And then walk your hands over to the right hand side, but keeping bump on the inside of that right side. Just placing your left hand on top of your right, allowing your hips to sink low. And then walking hands through center, over to the left, placing right hand on top of left. Now, where our body produces a lot of produces extra relaxing during pregnancy in order to allow for those changes, those movements in the hips, the growth of baby, it also allows our muscles to become a lot more stretchy. So what we want to make sure that we're doing is just working to about 80% and not overstretching at any point, because that can actually cause your muscles to overstretch and stay stretched. So we want to avoid that. We want to create this balance of strength and length. Moving your hands back to center. Just bring yourself into your tabletop position. Tuck your toes under and lift your hips to down dog. We're going to walk our feet up towards our hands. Again, take all the space you need for bump. Take your feet out wide if you need. Have a little softness in the knees here. And then you can either walk your hands up your legs or roll yourself up. Or inhale, take a reverse swan dive. Nice and slowly, use those glutes. Lifting arms overhead. And exhaling hands through heart center. Lovely. Just take another little rock here, just releasing out your hips, holding onto belly, holding onto baby. And this is your practice, as you know. I know baby puts a lot of extra pressure on the bladder. So if at any point you do need to nip off, please do. No need to make a fuss or worry that you can't. And likewise, it can be quite tiring. So if at any point you need to just sit out of a pose, just take child's pose, or even just sit in Sukhasana cross-legged, you're more than welcome to as well. We're going to take a nice little sun salutation flow now. So just before you do, if you have water, just have a little sip, stay hydrated. And when you're ready, take your feet hip distance apart and create your Tadasana. I've just spotted my little baby that I used in my mum and babies class. I haven't named her yet. Perhaps I can ask for suggestions at the end of the class. I think she's a bit big to pop on the top though. So create those lovely engagements, just hugging baby with your core, rolling your shoulders backwards. We're going to inhale, arms overhead, palms together. As you come to your forward fold, take it nice and slow. Make sure you've got enough space for bump. And then inhale, hands to shins, take a flat back extension. Exhale, hands to ground. Step your right leg back to lunge and then drop that back knee down on the ground. We're going to step our hands up onto our front knee. If you're sunk nice and low into your hips, I always say nice and low, I'll have it. Just pull it back a little bit so we're not overstretching. We're going to inhale, arms up to the sky. And exhale to cactus arms, opening the chest nice and wide. Just holding here. We don't want to stretch too much into a back bend because the front of your body is already stretched. Your muscles are stretching with the growing bump. So more drawing the elbows back and opening the chest rather than taking the chest too high. And then reaching those hands overhead. We're going to bring them to the inside of your front foot and sweep that leg back round to a tabletop position. Nice neutral spine, inhale. As you exhale, hug baby in with abdominals, take a cat pose. Inhale, neutral. Exhale, hugging baby into your cat pose. Inhale, neutral. And then take your knees wide, big toes together. We're going to exhale into a child's pose, keeping those arms stretched out in front of you. As you inhale, draw your body weight forward. So keeping your arms straight, we're going to keep our knees bent and take a modified cobra. And then exhale, take the hips back to heels, back to child's pose. Inhale, coming forward to your modified cobra. So toes left, head left. Again, mindful not to overstretch the front of the body. Exhale, child's pose. We'll do one more of those. Inhale to cobra. And as you exhale, tuck your toes under, lift your hips to a down dog. And then pedal out your dog. And walk your feet slowly up towards your hands, finding space for your forward fold. And then your options to roll up or take a straight back reverse swan dive. Just use your legs and your glutes if you keep your back straight. Exhale, hands through heart center. And then from here, we're just going to loosen up the top of the body. So check that your feet are nice and firm on the ground. Soft knees, strong thighs, engaged core. Inhale, arms overhead. And keeping the straight spine, we're going to exhale, take a nice big circle with our arms. Inhale, arms overhead. And exhale, circle. So we're keeping the straight spine. We're not going to arch as we take our arms back. So we're inhaling, arms overhead, staying straight. Exhale, take your circle. And then reset in Namaskar at heart center. Let's take our sun salutation variation in the other side. So we inhale, arms overhead, palms together. Exhale, fold. Inhale, hands to shins, halfway lift. Exhale, hands to ground. Step your left leg back to lunge and then drop that back knee, untucking the back toe. We're going to take our arms up to the sky and then open our cactus arms. Fingers spread wide, jazz hands. Shoulder blades pulling back together, opening up the chest. Beautiful. And then reach those arms back overhead. Bring your hands to the inside of your front foot. Sweep round into your tabletop position. Just getting your wrists under your shoulders, ensuring your spine's nice and neutral. Take an inhale. As you exhale, round to cat pose. And inhale to neutral. Exhale to cat pose. Inhale to neutral. Exhale, cat pose. Inhale to neutral, and then step your knees wide, big toes together. Come to your child's pose. We're going to take a modified cobra. So inhale, body weight into hands, toes come up to the sky. Exhale, send your hips back to your heels. Inhale forward to cobra. Exhale, hips to heels. One more, inhale forward. Exhale, hips to heels. Tuck your toes under, lift your hips to down dog. And pedal out your dog. And then walk your feet up towards your hands, finding comfort in your forward fold, making it accessible for you and your bum. An option to reverse swan dive or to soften your knees and roll up to standing. Beautiful. Well done. We're going to take a tree pose. So depending where your center of gravity is at the moment, you may want to use a wall or a chair, something just to support yourself. If not, find your tree. So we'll start off by making engagements in the left leg, in the left foot, working up, pulling tall through the crown. And then right foot comes either to ankle or to calf. Now, if you're an experienced yogi, you are welcome to take your foot up to your thigh. If you haven't practiced loads and you started, or perhaps just started for pregnancy, I would keep your leg low, just because if you do end up losing your balance and toppling, it's much easier to get your foot down, just to sturdy yourself from there. So bringing hands to the maska. Now notice your bum. If your bum is saggy and sticking out, we're going to squeeze it in, push the hips forward a little, and imagine someone's just pulled up through the crown of your head. So our glutes need attention. They need work during pregnancy. It's one of the major muscles to lose strength. Just focus your breath here. Try and find your balance. And if at any point you feel stressed or overwhelmed, this is a lovely pose to bring yourself to. Just to center yourself, just to focus. And then bring that right knee forward, reset your feet and take a little wiggle. Just loosen the knees and the hips. And we'll take the same on the other side. So spreading those right toes, soft knees, strong thighs, and then taking left foot to wherever works for you today. And as well as being a balance, this is a hip opener. So if your knee is out at 45 degrees, we're aiming on getting that right out to the side, but not compromising this right hip. So we're opening the hips like a book. Bringing hands to heart center, finding your focus. Remembering your glutes. Squeeze them in, lifting tall. And then bringing that knee forward, resetting, and taking a little wiggle, like Marilyn Monroe tottering down the street in heels. Great wiggles. Beautiful. And then from here, we're going to make our way to a triangle pose. So let's step back with our right foot. So your left foot's facing the top of your mat, your right foot is out at 3 o'clock. Now, if you've got any pelvic girdle pain, or any discomfort in having your legs wide, just bring them narrow. Bring them to a point that's comfortable for your body. We're here to work with your body to improve and assist the pregnancy. So anything that doesn't feel right, just make adjustments. And when you found your comfort, your comfortable stance, reach those arms out wide. We're going to reach our left fingertips for the top of the mat and then drop down into Trikonasana, triangle pose. And again, just tuck under your tailbone. Make sure that you're nice and flat here. This top shoulder wants to lift up and away. And to assist with the positioning, just take this top hand and place it behind your head. If it's comfortable, you can take your eye gaze up to the ceiling. And as you do, feel how this stretch becomes more noticeable all through the side of the body. So that right side of the body is not only lengthening, but it's engaged to keep your body straight as well. And then bend into your front knee. We're going to take our arms to warrior two. Nice deep breath in here as you exhale, sink low into your front leg. Getting your chest and shoulders in line with the long edge of your mat. And just checking that this front knee is pulling back, that is not dropping forward. You can stay here in warrior two if you like, which is actually the more challenging option. Or take a reverse warrior. Inhale, straighten your front leg, and then draw your front arm up and overhead. And exhale, take your warrior two. Nice and slowly inhale your reverse warrior, straightening your front leg. We'll do one more set of those. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reverse. And then bring your hands to your hips. We're going to step that back leg in and come back to reset at the tops of our mats. I don't know what it looks like you're in, but we've got black leggings on. It's like a green screen. It's like this half of me I can see, and my feet I can see, but this bit doesn't exist. I must remember to wear white leggings in the future. Anyway, we reset. I digress. And then step your left leg back to find your stance for triangle. So arms reach up, spine is long and straight, and then we reach for the top of the mat and come into our triangle. Now, our goal here is not to touch the floor. So if you can, that's great. But if you do touch the floor and it causes this top shoulder to drop down, just pick that shoulder up and stack it directly above the bottom shoulder. And if that means that this bottom arm comes up, then that's great. What we want out of this pose is to stay as flat as possible. So tucking the tailbone under, let's bend into this top arm. And if comfortable, take your eye gaze to the ceiling. If at any point you feel unbalanced, just find a stable position for your body. We don't want anyone falling over. Deep breaths. And then bend into your front leg. We're going to make our way to warrior two. Just sinking as low as is comfortable. Check this knee is either directly above the ankle or just in towards the body. If our knee is overshooting, we're putting undue pressure on it. So doing it once or twice won't do too much, or is not likely to do too much damage, but doing it regularly in practice will probably ultimately do some discomfort and damage to your knees. So just avoid that. Check that your toes are all planted firmly into the ground. Your spine is nice and straight. So quite often, especially with our bump, our bellies stick out and our backs arch. We want to suck baby in with our abdominals, hug baby in, lengthen up through the crown of the head. Excellent. Option to stay or inhale into your reverse warrior, straighten that front leg. And exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, warrior two. And then straighten up, bring hands to hips and step yourselves back to the tops of your mats. Maybe have a wiggle of the hips if you need. Beautiful. Oh, and water, little and often. And then we're going to make our way down onto our mat. So we can just curtsy down here. Just take one leg behind the other and sit yourself down onto the floor. Bringing your hands to your knees. Let's take some Sufi circles. So just like a nice gentle massage for our hips. And then change direction. Lovely, and come to stillness. We're going to come over onto our knees now. So you can either have your knees together here or just hip distance apart if it's more comfortable. We're going to take some glute work, glute and pelvic floor. So sitting with your hands resting on your thighs, nice straight spine. We're going to take a nice inhale in through the nose. As you exhale, breathe out through the mouth as we did in the beginning and lift your hips into a high kneel. Nice and slow. And then we inhale, we lower ourselves back down. And exhale, nice slow lift. Engaging the thighs, engaging the glutes. Continuing here in time with your own breath. Inhale down and exhale up. Try and find that pelvic floor again. And as you exhale, I know there's a lot going on with the thighs and the glutes. We're going to try and lift the pelvic floor as well. Having strong legs and strong glutes during labour is really going to help you. And you're going to have fat legs and bum as well. Let's do 2 more of these. Nice and slow. And then sit yourselves back down on your heels. Your option is to stay here or introduce a toe stretch by tucking your toes under, or often neglected little toes, and then sitting back on your heels. So a lot of ailments, ankles, knees, hips, even shoulders, begin in our feet. And if there's anything just slightly off in the feet, it can throw the rest of our body off. So paying a bit of attention to our feet, stretching out our toes, it stretches out the fascia under the feet, can, without us even realizing, have huge benefits on the rest of the body. So if it gets uncomfortable at any point, because it is a stretch that takes time to get used to, you can just release your toes here. We're going to bring our arms out ahead, palms together. Take an inhale, and then draw your right arm back, as if you're pulling back the bow of an arrow. And then exhale, hands together. Same arm. Inhale back for 2. Let your eye gaze follow your elbow. And exhale, hands together. Inhale, pull back. Exhale, hands together. And then we're going to take our lift here, lifting the hips over the knees, reaching arms overhead. As you exhale, take a side stretch over to the right. Inhale, straightening up. Exhale to the left. Inhale, straighten. And then exhale, sitting back down on your heels. Option to untuck your toes if you want. And let's inhale, the left arm pulls back into archer. And exhale, hands together. Inhale, draw back the bow. Exhale, hands together. Inhale, final one here. Exhale, hands together. And then return those hands to the ground. Just release those toes, give them a little pitter patter. Well done, everybody. We're going to sit down onto our heels. Take a nice side stretch now. Fingertips just to either side of your hips. Let's take our right arm up and then over into a side stretch. Just drawing your arm against an imaginary wall behind you. If it's comfortable, taking your eye gaze up to the sky. And then swapping those arms over, reaching that left arm up, over, the other way, and eye gaze up to the sky. And then release that left arm down. We're going to make our way to our relaxation now. So grab anything warm that you need. Your body will probably cool down quite quickly, so jumpers or blankets. Also, you might want to grab pillows or blocks. For those of you who aren't pregnant, you're welcome to lie in Shavasana. Otherwise, if you are expecting, lie down on your left side. We don't want to squash the vena cava, which runs down the right side of our spine. And baby tends to lie on that, which is another reason we don't lie on our backs in pregnancy. We're just going to come down with our head supported either by a block or cushion or by your arm. And then again, you can take a cushion or a block, place it between your knees. As many cushions as you want. You can place one under your belly. Just make yourself completely comfortable. Make any little adjustments you need. Take your time. When you're ready, close your eyes. And bring your awareness to your breath. There's no need to control the breath. Allow it to be spontaneous and natural. Allow it to come and go as suits your body. And just observe it. Just watch with interest. Notice the sensation of each inhale. The temperature of the air as it enters your body. Notice how warm it becomes as you exhale. Breathing in cool, fresh air. Making that exchange And breathing out warm energy that goes back into the universe. That's breathed in by trees and other things. This amazing world around you that you are a part of. These exchanges of energy happening all around us, within us. Notice the rise and fall of your chest in time with this amazing exchange. The inhale, the exhale, the ebb and flow. Ida, Pingala. This wonderful balance. Notice the amazing sound created by your breath. This calming, settling sound. Like the ocean. Like the distant rustle of wind through a forest. Allow this sound to soothe you, to calm your mind, to settle your soul. And know that you have your breath, this amazing tool to turn to any time you need it. Any situation you need to return your mind to calmness. You need to settle yourself. Slow the breath. Breathe noisy Ujjayi yogic breath. Harness your focus. Send all of your awareness, all of your attention to the sound that your breath creates. And allow yourself to settle and become still. Outwardly and inward. Maintain this sense of calm. You may choose to remain on your mat in your relaxation. Alternatively, start to create movement in your body, small at first, and then gradually growing larger, stretching out limbs, nice and slowly, gently waking your body back up. Still breathing, still holding this soft, gentle space. And when you're ready, slowly make your way back to seated. Sitting nice and tall. Placing one hand on your belly, one hand on your heart. We'll just remain in stillness for a few moments. Appreciating right now. And then gently open your eyes. Bring your hands to Namaskar. Take a moment to thank yourself and your little one for your cooperation, for being present on your mats this evening. Namaste.